hard. Sometimes Facebook is hard to get going. Hey, Philip Hatfield, I'm glad you're with me because I need some help. Dave Lieber here for the blue light special video. Boom, boom, boom. I got the blue light. Ivy Eisenberg, I'm glad you're here. We're going to talk to each other. Nikki, I need help. I hope you can see me okay. I couldn't flip it. Hi, Travis. I couldn't flip the video and get the mirroring going, so I can't really show letters without looking like an idiot. But I want to welcome you to my secret hiding place, my garage. Hey, Marcy. Hey, Catherine. I'm so glad you guys are here because I need your help to figure out how to mess with the Public Utility Commission. That's the point of this. I'm Dave Lieber. I write the Watchdog column at the Dallas Morning News, and welcome to my garage. Nobody ever comes in here. This is what I'm working on right now. I'm staining a box, and I don't really like the way it looks. I started it last night, put some stain on it, and now I'm waiting to put the second coat. But this is kind of the stuff that keeps me out of trouble. I love his place. I started with one little screwdriver, see? And from that I built an empire. I don't even know what some of these tools do. But my favorite tool of all, the one I would take is in a fire would be this guy. Hey Rick, hey Dean. I would take this paint thing. That's my favorite one. I love the little lip. I hate paint, but I love to open up the can and go with this little thing. This is a new tool that I just bought. It's a magnet mirror, and I've never used it, but it's really cool. Look at that. Hey James, hey Andrew. So it's like, it's not what it's for, but it kind of works. I want to talk to you about electricity. Oh, here's a tool that I got recently. It came with something else. I don't even understand how it works. I can't stand it. It's got a little flashlight. I can't even figure out how to make it go on. But anyway, I've been running this P campaign, and the thing about the P campaign is it actually took off. Several hundred people have written the Public Utility Commission of Texas. Oh, I forgot. I can't call it the public. It's the UC because they don't care about the public. And there's a little window of opportunity right now for us to get involved. And so what I want to do is ask your opinion on how to handle this thing, because when I started this, I said I'm going to take the P away and I'm going to hold it hostage. I started with this little P, just making piece of paper, and I think it's probably backwards, and I apologize for that because I couldn't mirror this, and that's not really going to work. I mean, it worked for my social media post when I did like, hey, I'm taking away your P, and that's how I launched the campaign. But it doesn't really work because it doesn't have the heft, of the Public Utility Commission of Texas, which serves like 28 million people. So I figured I needed to go do a little bit better. So I went to the store and I got like a P, and this P comes in different colors, and it got the red, and I got the orange, and I got the yellow, and all these colors. But then it's like, I can't go to the Public Utility Commission, where I'm going to probably visit in a week or two, and I can't stay outside and say, I got your P, So I thought I need to get a P that has heft. So I had this at home. This is my college P. It's Penn. I went to Penn, University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. Hurrah, hurrah for the red and the blue. And it's good. It's strong. It's like brass. But I can't go to the PUC again and go, I got your P. You guys want your P back? Because it's like puerile. It's putrid. It's pusillanimous. I don't even know what that means. Hey Evan. So I'm trying to figure out what kind of P to use, because the whole idea is I want to shame them, and I'll show you how we have this little window of opportunity to shame them. So I went back to the store and I got this P, okay? And again, if it's backwards, I apologize because I can mirror this. So puerile, right, Evan? And so I like this P. This is a hefty P, and I have fluorescent paint, and I have gold paint, and I have black paint, and I could paint this, and I could stand at the PUC, and I could say, hey, you give us better electricity shopping without deception, or I'll never give you this P back, and then I saw another P that I fell in love with. And I'll show you that in a second. But before I do, I just want to tell you about this window of opportunity. Jason, hi Jason. Hi Jessamine. It does need paint, and I've got paint. But I might have a better idea that I want to run by you. Jason, hi. Jason Smith, one of the great civil rights lawyers, and Kathy Welty Parks. Hi. Nikki, how are you? It's backwards, yeah. It's okay. It looks good to you, Nikki? Cool. Okay. So there's a window of opportunity now. And, you know, I've been running this campaign for a long time, years and years, and I can't really get close to getting the state legislature to fix the whole P thing, to get electricity so that it's fair when we shop and we don't get ripped off by all these deceptive companies. So I figured I could get the UC to actually, convince the legislature to do this. And the way it happens is every 2 years, the PUC, the UC writes a report called The Scope of Competition in Electric Markets in Texas. And this report is like an update on the Texas legislature on everything that's happened in electricity. And here on page 25, it says legislative recommendations, and it's completely blank. So I said to my friend who's over there, the spokesman for the PUC, Mr. Andrew Barlow, I said, Mr. Barlow, when do you put in the legislative recommendations? He says, in the next couple weeks when we have our meeting in early December, the PUC. So this is our window of opportunity. If we can get them to acknowledge that the electricity shopping system in Texas is a giant cluster blank, we could actually get something done. And to back the argument up, another group came out with a report a couple of weeks ago. It's the Texas Coalition for Affordable Power. And it's run by a bunch of really good people. They pool the electricity in cities. Jake Dyer is the guy who wrote the report, and he's an expert. He's been covering electricity in Texas for over 20 years. And he says in the report that he found that there was a 29% increase. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Ron. Is that Congressman Ron? Right. Nice to see you, Congressman-elect. We're talking about how to mess up the UC here, and I've got a plan. I want to run it by you. But anyway, the Texas Coalition for Affordable Power says that there was a 29% increase in electricity complaints in the past year over the previous year. And that's the largest increase in complaints in June. It's the largest increase in electricity complaints in the last 10 years. And, I didn't introduce myself properly. This is Dave Lieber, the Watchdog Blue Light Special, and we're talking about the P tonight. A little late on that, but that's okay. So it's a 29% increase in complaints from last year to this year, and it's the biggest increase in complaints. Hi, Barry. It's the biggest increase in complaints in Texas in 10 years, and the UC doesn't even mention it in its report to the legislature, but they did leave the page blank for legislative recommendations, and that's where we come in. So I need everybody that is interested in this to write. I don't know if this address is going to show up properly, but the email address is customer@puc.texas.gov. I think I thought I didn't reverse it. And I have my wife, Karen. Customer@puc.texas.gov. And you got to write to them and say you support the P project, you want electricity to be fixed up. As Larry Lee wrote, he sent me a copy. He says, get rid of the door-to-door peddlers. You have created something that is too complex to be decided while someone is putting a sales pitch in your ear on the front porch. These are my ideas, which he's adopted, and I really appreciate it, Larry. Hi, Dean. Get rid of protect the Power to Choose site so that other companies don't use when you type in Power to Choose, which is the state website, that they don't steal those words. And make all companies list the total correct price. He says you don't buy a pair of pants only to find out you have to pay extra for the zipper. And he says I support the P project, and say hello to Andrew. And that's what I've asked, and I've got a few hundred people that have copied me on that and everything. So I'm trying to figure out, what to do with, this is my baby. This is the P that I fell in love with. Look at this P. This looks like the kind of a P that you would have on a building in Austin representing the state of Texas. P for Public Utility Commission of Texas. What do I want to do with it? That's my question. And while I've been standing here talking to you and just waiting to talk to you for the last hour, I began to think about, I would like to walk into the PUC when I go there in early December and present them to this and just say, the guys, here's the P. I'm not giving it back to you, but this is the P for protest, the protest P. And here's my idea. I was thinking, hi, Lisa. I was thinking of painting it fluorescent or painting it gold or painting it black. And, and then I thought, wait a minute, all these couple hundred people have written the PUC and they've copied me on the letters. What if I took all their names and just put all their names on here and walked in and said, hey, to the PUC, here are all the people. I mean, How could they ignore that? My wife will be with me in Austin, Karen, and we'll make a little video of it. Hey, Lisa. So I'm thinking it's sort of like a little bit of an act of civil disobedience. And I'm wondering, you know, what do you think? Is that going to be sufficient? Hi, Heather. Sequence. Evan Blackman says sequence. Jessamy likes the idea. Because Jessamy, first you said paint it, and now you like the idea of all the names. It's sort of like the Declaration of Independence. You know, I don't know. I can make a lot of P jokes, but even my wife likes it. So Karen Lieber says she likes it. If she likes it, I might have to actually do it. I think what I would do would be to type the names out on a piece of paper and then just print it out and then just glue it so it's really nice, you know, covered with all the names of all the people. Hey, Dave Chenoweth. Dave, if you're just catching up, I went and got all these P's, and I was trying to figure out which P's to give to the Public Utility Commission, you know, and I got like the little P, and then I got the bigger P's. They're all in my paper file here. Because, you know, I started off with just like the paper P, and then I went and I graduated, and I went all the way up to the PP. This P has heft, this P has symbolism, this P represents the public, which I have stripped from the Utility Commission's name. So I'm thinking, for those of you that just joined in, that we just have this little window of opportunity to get the the UC, to fill out the legislative recommendations and say something in there to the legislature about making the system, you know, fairer for shopping. And what's so amazing about it is they don't want to acknowledge how screwed up the system is, because for whatever reason they don't want to do more work. I don't know what it is, but for 10 years I've been getting complaints about shopping for electricity, and the idea that they won't attack it, they won't hit it hard. So, you know, we have this Dallas News Watchdog Posse, which is my closed Facebook group. Dallas News Watchdog Posse. Anyone can come in by asking. Andrew Barlow, who's the spokesman for the PUC, is in the group. He has a relative or two in the group. They got a monitor, you know. So now they know that I'm going to walk in there with an autographed by hundreds of people P and say, you can't have this P back. This is the symbolic P. And hey, Kelly Gormley, how are you? And so I might not even write a column about it. I just want to go in there because I have been doing this for 10 years, and it gets so aggravating to like try to convince people in the state level that there is a problem shopping for electricity. My wife says paint the Texas flag on the front of the P and the names on the back. Okay, I think you could do that, Karen. Evan says it's nepotism. I don't know. It's nepotism. They taught me back in when I was starting off as a reporter, a young reporter in West Virginia. They taught me. The editor said, "Remember, these guys aren't crooks. They're just dumb." And turned out that all the people that I covered were actually crooks. But that's a whole other story. I want to welcome you to my tool room. I don't get in here that much with anybody. It's sort of a private place, but I wanted to share it with you because this is where I will be constructing my P. If you have any more suggestions on how to go about convincing the Utility Commission of Texas to actually figure out ways to make shopping for electricity as easy and as fair as it is shopping for milk, the price is the price. The contracts are ridiculous. The extra fees, the credits, the minimum fees, the penalties, all that stuff is just ridiculous. None of it existed 20 years ago. The electricity companies are just deceiving us left and right. We're overpaying for electricity. That's why I took away the P, because of this overpaying. I hate to see people overpay. You should change contract every 3, 6, 9, or 12 months. You need to make sure your contracts don't expire in the summer because that's when the rates are higher. And for those of you just joining, what aggravates me the most is that the PUC in its report to the legislature, which I was looking at here, basically doesn't acknowledge that there's a major crisis in this, but the Texas Coalition for Affordable Power says that there is a crisis because the complaints have gone up in 1 year almost 30%, the greatest increase in electricity complaints in 1 year over in the past 10. Variable rates that only go up. Yeah, Blackman, that's right. Hey, Kathy Elliskew, how are you? From Maine. Kathy, we're talking about taking the P away from the Public Utility Commission, and I was telling everybody my plan, which is it seems to be to put the names on one side of all the people who complained to me about it, and on the other side paint the Texas flag. So that's what we've decided, because I graduated from the little paper P where I started my P campaign to get the Public Utility Commission. I took away their P, and now I've graduated all the way up to the big heavy P. And I'm proud of this P. I'm perfectly happy with this pay. And so I hope this works, because if it doesn't work, people are going to overpay. The other thing I wanted to mention to you is if you buy electricity in Texas, you got to know two things. You got to know when your contract expires, and you got to know what your kilowatt hour rate is. Are you paying 9 cents? Are you paying 12 cents? When does it expire? And you got to learn how to shop around. So in early 2019, I'm going to do an updated guide to shopping for electricity in 2019 for everybody. I haven't updated it in a couple of years. But anyway, my email, as you know, is watchdog@dallasnews.com, where I write the Watchdog column, and I do the blue light special every Sunday night, sometimes inside, sometimes outside. Didn't know I was going to be in my tool room, but you get to see my empire, which started with this screw and now has all these wonderful tools. And the best tool of all, though, is the newspaper, the column, the people that read it, and the people that help me get the goals that we set. So I'm going to sign off now and say thank you very much for spending a little bit of time with me, and I appreciate the back and forth. And remember, Watchdog.